Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and I really wanted to do a quick story on this whole E. Jean Carroll controversy, which I don't even know. I don't know how long it's going to play in the media, but what's really upset me about it is the amount of credibility that this woman has been given. On the cover of the New York Magazine, this is what I was wearing 23 years ago when Donald Trump attacked me in a Bergdorf Goodman dressing room. Now, I'll always hear somebody out, and I'm not saying that Trump did this. I'm not saying he didn't do this. I'm definitely not saying that he definitely has never met her. But I'm also not throwing out the possibility that not only do they know each other, but maybe he did consensually have, some kind of a relationship with her wherever she claims. I don't know. But I can tell you this. The video that's been going around is one with Anderson Cooper. And when I watched this video, I was like, this woman seems completely unhinged. I mean, completely like an unhinged socialite, one way or the other. So much so that Cooper tries to go to commercial when she says, just insane. Let's just go to it. Let her speak for herself.
Victim.
You don't feel like a victim?
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations.
Let's stop there. I wasn't thrown on a ground and ravaged. So again, I think there is the possibility. I've seen videos of her when she was younger. She obviously, even for an older lady, is somewhat attractive. I know Trump said she's not my type, but come on, it's Donald Trump. Come on, give me a break. But I mean, she's all right. So it has so many sexual connotations. So I think she's going to describe something. We're going to go right back. She doesn't feel like a victim, and I'm just going to let it play through here.
You don't feel like a victim?
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
But I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
What? What? First of all, the idea that it isn't some kind of a power play, especially for some very sick sociopathic people, for sure. But now most people think it's sexy. No, I don't believe so. Now even Cooper, listen to what he says.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
Well, let's go back.
Assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
I mean, and he can't even keep a straight face. You're fascinating. I mean, she looks like a psychopath. I'm just saying. And here's the funny thing. Now, this is a 40-second clip, not even. When you see what they ran with the headline with Trump accuser, I am so glad I'm not his type. I'm not going to do the 11-minute interview, guys. I can't do it. She seems so unhinged there, but again, I will always listen to a story. So what I did is I went to this interview, which I did watch. We're definitely going to play some of this, but she seemed a little less unhinged, but just as frightening and odd. 100%.
When we walked into the lingerie department, there was nobody there, which is strange. It was in the evening, and on the counter were 3 really fancy boxes and a see-through bodysuit. He walked right to the bodysuit and snatched it up and said, "Go put this on." Now, that struck me as so funny because here I am, 52. I am not going to be put. My idea was, I said, "No, you put it on." And he said, "No, it looks like it fits you." I said, "No, it goes with your eyes." So I am spinning a comedy scene in my head.
Of course, banter, back and forth. I get it.
But you see how funny that would be to make him put that on.
Yes, and you, by the way.
I mean, first of all, just so bizarre. She's,
used to be a comedy writer on Saturday Night Live.
Right.
You were engaging in this banter, as I think many of us would, because
Yes.
you didn't know what violence was
No,
about to unfold, and you could never have known that.
How
And
would I know that?
Of course. And
Although
so,
I thought I was pretty stupid.
well, I mean, I understand that afterwards, in retrospect, you blame yourself. Many women in this situation do. However, you go into the dressing room, you think that he's going to hold it up against him,
Yeah.
and then it gets violent.
Well, the minute he went like this, I preceded him into the dressing room. The minute he closed that door, I was banged up against the wall.
He slammed you against the wall.
Yeah, I hit my head really hard. Boom.
And you point out that he's a tall, big person, and he
6'3".
pinned you in some way.
Well, I'm a tall person too. I was 6'1" in my heels, and I was a competitive athlete. So
Like, why? She seems so happy to tell this story. She doesn't seem traumatized at all. It's the weirdest. I mean, this is just so bizarre. Later on in the interview, she's asked, I think what it is, what she would say to him if she could confront him. And she talks about how that frightens her. But in the other interview, she said she didn't feel like a victim.
you know, when somebody shows you, the thing is, it shocked me. For a moment, I was stunned, right? And then he tried to kiss me, which was, it was so hard. But so my reaction was to laugh, to knock off the erotic whatever he had going on. Because the man, when you laugh at him, he's like, "Ugh, no," you know. He just went at it.
So again, I just don't understand here. He'd already thrown her against something. He'd already hit her head. And now she's saying, I mean, that she's laughing during this whole event. And she still doesn't look like somebody who was like upset about this.
And when you say went at it, you know, I mean,
He pulled down my tights. And it was a fight. I want women to know that I did not stand there. I did not freeze. I was not paralyzed, which is a reaction that I could have had because it's so shocking. No, I fought. And it was over very quickly. It was against my will, 100%. And I ran away, out.
and he pinned you. I mean, just without getting overly graphic, he pinned you against the wall.
He held his shoulder against
He
it.
put his shoulder against you.
And he is, you're right, you made that point.
He's much bigger than you are. I mean, not just tall. I mean, in terms of
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, think about all the credibility they're giving this woman. Sit down. Even Anderson Cooper can't keep a straight face. She's on the cover of magazines. It just seems like it's never ending. And I'm not, again, I want to make this clear. We're going to go back to the video in a second. Absolutely, there's a possibility that Trump had sex with this woman where she says at a lingerie shop, et cetera, and some of these details are true. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. I think if we're saying that's out of the realm of possibility, we're kind of being dishonest with ourselves. However, she certainly does not act like somebody who was traumatized by an event. She's putting out a book. Her timing, I mean, it just feels like it's the next sex scandal with this guy. And, you know, I don't know that Trump never has met her, but it doesn't feel right.
his massiveness. And so he pinned you against the wall. He ripped off your tights and
Not all the way off, just down.
down. He pulled down his pants.
No, just unzipped.
He unzipped his pants. And this is beyond sexual. I mean, legally, he raped you.
I don't use the word. I have difficulty with the word. I
you think
see it
that
as a fight.
Yes.
I don't, you know.
I understand, but you see it as a fight and you don't want to be seen as a victim, and I totally get that.
Don't want to be seen as a victim because I quickly went past it. It was a very, very brief episode of my life. Very brief. I am not faced with sexual violence every single day like many women around the world. And so, yes, I'm very careful with that word.
I understand.
I like you will use it.
Well, here's the situation. I understand that you don't want this to define you. Of course, who would? But I'm saying legally, it was rape. It's unambiguous. What you describe in the book, it was rape. And that actually goes further than the 15 women who came forward during the campaign to say that they're...
Why is it that the host is more convincing than she is? Why is she lending credibility to this woman? It's really odd, and you know, I know that the hot news coming up right now is that Mueller is going to testify. As I told you months and months and months ago, this isn't going away. Before the Mueller report came out, I said, listen, they're going to harp on obstruction of justice. That's the new impeachment. This is the next scandal. This is all going into the 2020 elections. None of it's going to be resolved. And somewhere in there, we're going to try to start a war with Iran, I guess. I certainly hope I'm wrong on a lot of that, but that's not how it feels. And when you look at this situation, it's just very, very odd. You know, you don't have any of the tell me the Democratic candidates other than Tulsi Gabbard that are really speaking out against this latest conflict in the Gulf. There's not a lot of them. And I don't know whether this feels like a conveniently timed sex scandal to try to, I don't know, hype up. But that Anderson Cooper stuff and her interview there is just, I don't know. It's not that convincing to me, guys. And we're doing a bunch of videos. I'm probably going to be doing some more videos tonight, actually. So stay tuned. I got a lot going on right now in my personal life, but I really don't want to get into that. So if you're into, I don't know, quantum mechanics, what's going on in Iran, Epstein, NXIVM, the Bohemian Grove, and much, much more, subscribe to my channel. Join the Burmese Brigade. We're doing it. We're doing 30 to 50 videos a week. That is a promise. And I think I'm going to leave it on that, guys. I've got to go fund me. That's how I'm funding myself. So if you can give $5, $10, $15, we're trying to raise $5,000 a month so I can literally do this almost 365 days a year and bring you real content that's not about left or right. It's about right and wrong, and it's not partisan bullshit. So I will see you on the flip, and thank you all.